Hi, welcome to CreateStudio Pro. In this video, we're going to give an overview of the editor itself, talk about some of its main features, and give you some helpful tips on how to get started. Alright, so if you want some more in-depth tutorials, we have a tutorials link right here that you can follow. We also have a YouTube channel that we would love for you to subscribe to. From there, you can get tutorials, product updates, and other useful content. We also have a Facebook group that we want you to join, and from there, you can connect with other creators. Alright, so to get started within CreateStudio Pro, you can need to go to New Project, and you can choose Blank Project, or you can start with one of our themes. We're going to go ahead and start with the Blank Project today, and you want to choose your resolution, and from here you can set, if you set to landscape, you can choose 720p, 1080, or even 4K. You can choose this to be square for Facebook, Instagram, or Pinterest. You can choose it to be a stories, or you can set your own custom canvas size as well. All right, once you got that set, you can choose your canvas color from here, whether you want it to be white or a different color altogether. Use the little scroll your mouse across the wheel here and choose which color you choose. And once you have it selected, go ahead and click on Create Project. All right, so this is the interface inside of CreateStudio Pro. If I start here on the top left under Media, you'll see it takes you to My Files. Now, inside of My Files is where you can import in footage, pictures, video clips that you may have to use for your sessions. You can also utilize and search for stock footage as well from Unsplash, Pexels, or Pixabay. Just know once you download something from one of these, it's going to be stored in your My Files under Project Media. All right. If you would like them to be visible to all sessions that you open up inside of CreateStudio Pro, then you need to make sure that you right-click them and save them to your global folder. So anything inside your global is visible to all sessions you open up inside of CreateStudio Pro. All right. Underneath Media, we've got Studio, and Studio has all the assets that you're going to utilize to help create cool projects inside of CreateStudio Pro. So you've got backgrounds, you've got characters, you've got doodle animations, you've got icons, stuff for social media, stickers, titles, anything you may need asset-wise is available inside of the Studio section here in CreateStudio Pro. All right, underneath that, we've got music, and so you can choose sound effects or music, different options for different themes you may have. Download those, again, they'll be in your files, and then drag those into your canvas to use for your sessions, right? Underneath music, we've got transitions. So you can kind of hover over each one of these and kind of see what the transitions will look like to kind of help improve transitions between segments of your clips. So that's pretty cool. And the best way for these is just to kind of like see what they do, and then just, just download them, drag them onto your canvas and see what those look like between your clips and decide what works best for you. Underneath transitions, we've got effects. So for example, let's say I had some text here and I wanted to use this glitch effect. So I could drag this on top of my text. And if I play this back as is, you'll see that it's glitching out and it's doing the effect it wants. Now I do have the option to adjust the glitch effects. So with my text selected there, you'll see under effects in the right-hand side, there's my glitch effect. I can turn it, right now it's on, I can turn it off. If I want to see what it looks like without it, turn it back on. And if I select it, you'll see that it opens up the properties for the glitch effect. And I can go ahead and adjust the properties of different things that I want. I can manually type those in, or I can drag my mouse and left click and hold right or left here, and it'll adjust the properties as well from there. So that is effects. Those are pretty cool. You can go ahead and choose different ones and different options that fit the scene for you, right? Underneath effects, we've got components, and components are essentially their pre-built elements. All right. So stuff that's already been animated out, all you got to do is drag and drop and then make it your own. All right. So for example, you've got an infinite scroll, you got the typewriter effect. You can reposition and create your own camera movements within there. You've got progress bar, and there's a really cool feature. It's called carousel. And if I drag carousel onto my canvas, you'll see that it allows me to add images to this carousel effect. And when I play it back, you'll see that it just kind of pans through the different options there, kind of like a carousel, right? Now within this, there's also presets under settings on the right here. If I click on this, you'll see there's carousel presets. So it's not just one template. You can choose like up and down. You can have it be circled. But for example, say I chose this preset, I can come over here to my media, and under my global, I've got several surfing pictures here. I can drag these into this guy and start adding different pictures to my carousel. So now when I play it back, you'll see that it scrolls through like a carousel. So there's a lot of different creative ways that you can utilize these components. You can also go in and edit the slides from here, or you can the transition times, the pause, the scaling. You have a lot of control for the different components you want to utilize, right? So that is the different component section. So find one you want to utilize, drag it onto your canvas, and start having fun with it, right? From here, you got My Scenes. And from here, you can add categories and create your own custom scenes, and then you can easily add them to any future projects that you may have. All right. We also have a video builder. From here, you can kind of utilize these templated posts that they have and make them your own, as well as the bobblehead options that they have as well. So you can kind of bring those in and make them your own and create the cool, fun scenes that you want. All right. So if I scroll up here, it's kind of like my dashboard. It's the CreateStudio Pro logo here. And I just hover over it, it opens up and allows me to create a new project. I can save project as, I can go to more tutorials, support, or I can exit the program altogether, right? I have access to the pen tool, which allows me to draw shapes, which is pretty cool. I can create, or not create, but open up the shapes and choose specific shapes to kind of help enhance my projects. I've got the text icon, which allows you to create text and add text wherever you want it to. Over here on the top, I've got the selection tool and the hand tool. So the hand tool will allow me to move around in my canvas like this. The selection tool will allow me to select individual elements inside of my canvas and move them around. All right. Now the magnifying glass, that is going to allow you to adjust the canvas zoom size. So if you need to zoom into the canvas itself to see something, you can just manually zoom in, or you can use these custom presets to go 25%, 100%, 50%. These will center it for you, or this will fit your canvas back to its original size so you can get back to work and kind of see the full canvas of what you're working with. This is your save icon. So if you want to save, click save. CreateStudio Pro does auto save for you, so you can allow it to do that. Or if you're kind of one of those people that wants to save more often than not, you can go ahead and click the save icon. Publish is when you're going to export your project. So if I click on publish, you'll see I can publish it as a video. I can do it as an MP4, as an MOV, as a JPEG, as a PNG, whatever my project calls for, I have the option to export that as. All right. Now I can choose the quality as well. So do I want this to be low, so I'm sending it just over email, or just a quick preview file, or do I want it to be high, and it'll be a slower render out a little bit, but it'll be a bigger file, but it's also the top quality what I'm looking for. I can do my own size. I can set it to be HD, or I can set the settings for 4K. The option is there for you. Do you want to end with the last frame or an empty frame? And then you got to choose your output file. So where do you want to save this to? Your desktop, your documents folder, an external hard drive. That's where you're going to set your output file. You cannot publish anything unless you have saved your session first. So like, for example, if I try to select an output file right now, it's going to tell me, please save your project before publishing it. So I'll need to save my project, and then I'll be able to truly export it. And when you do publish it, you'll get a queue window that pops up, and it's like a progress bar. The queue window is cool because it allows you to keep working without having to wait and bog down the system. You can just move the queue window to the side and then keep working inside of CreateStudio Pro. That's cool. All right, so down here we've got undo and redo. So if I undo something, I can redo it, and that's really cool. It's something on the fly. Right here is your grid options. So if you want to create some action safe lines, you can do everything grid related within this window as well. The keyboard next to it is your shortcuts. So if you want to become a little more proficient, a little faster, make your workflow happen a little quicker, learn some of these shortcuts, and they'll help you kind of increase the proficiency of your editing speed, right? Down, if I move over a little bit more, this cuts your tracks. So if I wanted to cut the carousel track, I can move my cursor to wherever I want to make a cut, and then simply click on cut, and then you'll see that it made a cut for me, and now I have a cut in my carousel. I can also duplicate a track if I want to. So if I select this carousel second half, hit duplicate, you'll see that it made a duplicate of that. You can also click on animation. So if you select a clip, hit animation, you can adjust the position, scale, opacity, any of these properties, and you can set custom keyframes for them, which is really cool. You can also adjust the easing, which is kind of like the transition time of in and out of each of those keyframes. So you can adjust both of them at the same time, or you can make each one of these different for the in and a different one for the out. So that's a cool option they give you as well. Over here, you can adjust, if you want to go frame by frame, you can kind of click that forward to go frame by frame or backwards frame by frame. This plays for you, and then this takes you to the end of your session, and this takes you to the beginning of your session. If I look at my timeline down here, you'll see that I've got a couple options for navigation. This zooms me in and out of my timeline. This allows me to move to the right of my timeline to the left. You can also put your cursor up here by the numbers and left click and hold and drag to the right to zoom in, or drag to the left to zoom out. All right. So these are some cool features that allow you to kind of maneuver around the timeline, which is really cool. So that's kind of like a quick overview of CreateStudio Pro. If you want some more in-depth tutorials, remember to check out some of the tutorials links. And remember, just the best way to go about it is to have fun. And we can't wait to see what y'all create.